Hey guys, today on JD Cars, we're going to be installing a rugged ridge mirror relocation kit on this 2014 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited. So before we get started with our first installation on the Jeep Wrangler, I do want to pay a huge thank you to Northridge 4x4 for making this video possible. Northridge 4x4 specializes in Jeep parts. They actually started out of a garage in 2001 fabricating custom bumpers and whatnot. Now they're a full-blown operation with multiple locations. I've browsed numerous Jeep part websites and not a single one comes close to Northridge 4x4's selection of parts. They have an absolutely incredible selection of parts, an easy to navigate site, fast shipping, and most importantly of all, excellent customer service from a team of employees that are actually Jeep enthusiasts themselves. If you need any Jeep parts at all, be sure to check out northridge4x4.com. So here's the box in which you'll receive your rugged ridge mirror relocation brackets, which fills in the hole on the door where the mirrors were previously mounted, and we have the mirror brackets themselves. So as I said, we're going to receive two mirror relocation brackets as well as two filler pieces for the doors. Pulling them out of the packaging, you'll notice they have a really nice black powder coat finish. All four pieces also have a laser cut piece of foam as to not damage the finish on your Jeep, as well as to prevent any rattling or vibrations. So enough about the brackets, let's jump into the install. So I'll start off on the driver's side here. Jeep makes working on their vehicles extremely easy. The only tool we'll need for this job is a T40 Torx socket. I'll be using an impact gun to remove accessible screws, but you will also want a traditional ratchet to reach inside the relocation bracket. So first things first, we're going to remove the mirror from the mount here by coming underneath here, and by loosening and removing this T40 Torx screw, we can then remove the mirror. At this point, you should be able to remove the mirror like so. But if your mirror gives you difficulty, like mine did, you can take a flathead screwdriver and a hammer and gently pound up on the mirror here to loosen it up and remove it. We can now remove the factory bracket by coming to the inside and removing two T40 Torx screws. We can now simply remove the bracket like so. Now your filler plates are universal to either side. One thing that does matter is you're gonna want the shorter leg to go up top when installing it in the door. So we'll just take the shorter leg, insert it in the upper hole, and insert the filler plate like so. So you may find it helpful to roll down your window so you can hold it from the inside while installing our screws. So while holding our filler plate from the outside, we're going to insert our T40 screw like so, and it may take a little bit of fussing around to find the threads, but once you do, just hand thread the screw into the bracket. Do the same with the bottom one. Once you have the screws hand threaded in, center your filler bracket on the outside, hold it in place with your hand, and then tighten down the T40 Torx screws. Here you can see our filler plate installed on the car, nice and centered. You'll also notice that foam rubberized pad created a nice watertight seal with the car. Now time to install the bracket itself. You'll notice there is a left and a right. You can distinguish the two by the slant on the front. This slant on the front here is going to match up with our windshield hinge. So installing the bracket is as simple as removing these two T40 Torx screws on your windshield hinge here. Now when installing the bracket, it's easiest to take our top screw and install the top screw first. As with anything, it's a good idea to hand thread it in rather than using your impact or any other tool. So we'll hand thread the top screw in, and before tightening it down, we do also want to install the lower screw. This may seem a little bit difficult, but Rugged Ridge did leave plenty of room to get your fingers in here, so it's really not too difficult. Once we have both screws installed, we can then tighten down the top screw with our impact gun. Our traditional ratchet now comes into play when tightening down the lower screw here. We can now reinstall our driver's side mirror. Fits perfectly right into the bracket here. All that's left to do is reinstall this T40 Torx screw from underneath here to secure the mirror. Now check that our mirror does in fact fold into the stowed position here. Very secure on the car. In fact, probably more secure than the OEM plastic bracket. This is a very heavy duty metal bracket and I'm thoroughly impressed with the quality. So that completes the installation of the Rugged Ridge mirror relocation bracket. I'm gonna go replicate the same process on the passenger side. Then I'll check out the viewing angle of the mirrors and I'll give you my thoughts on them. As you can see, we now have both mirrors installed on the Jeep here, and I have had a second to sit in the car and adjust them. So I was a little iffy about the viewing angle of the mirrors, but honestly, the driver's side one, it's hardly even noticeable that it's been moved. And the passenger side one is almost entirely visible. And when I'm backing up a trailer or backing up to park the Jeep, I'll often shift my head to the center of the vehicle anyways. So I don't have any problems with the viewing angles. Both mirrors are very secure, easy to adjust, and we've also retained the stock look of the Jeep instead of installing small circular aftermarket mirrors. I much prefer the square stock look of these mirrors. I also noticed something great about these mirrors once I opened up the doors on my Jeep. So as you can see here, when opening up the door straps stop the door from hitting the mirror and leave plenty of space, so if you slam open your door, it's not gonna hit the mirror, it's not gonna cause any damage to your paint or the mirror itself. All right, we're back at my house now, and now that we have relocated the mirrors off of the doors, we can pull off the doors using a T50 Torx bit. Now, obviously, I don't want to take off my doors and just put them on the gravel or lean them against my garage because they'll get all scratched up and somebody will probably bump into them. So I've constructed this custom mobile storage cart for my Jeep doors. If the video is up by now, I'll add a link. If it isn't, stay on the lookout. It'll be up in the very near future. Once we remove those two Torx screws, pop open the door here, and we'll need to remove the door strap. We also need to follow the strap up and disconnect a quick connect electrical connection like so. It's a good idea to tuck this to the door cargo net like so to prevent any damage to the wires. Same process in the rear, of course. The one exception being to disconnect your wire, you're gonna have to pop off this small plastic panel here. Then you can find your wire inside and disconnect it like so. So here she is with all the doors off as well as the top off and our doors on our custom mobile storage cart. Best of all, we got to retain our stock mirrors on the car, so we're staying safe and legal. So that's gonna wrap up this video on the Rugged Ridge mirror relocation brackets. I hope you guys found this helpful and entertaining. Plenty more Jeep videos to come. This is just the beginning, so definitely stay tuned for that. Again, I'd like to pay a huge thank you to Northridge 4x4 for making this video possible. Northridge 4x4 selection of Jeep parts is absolutely unmatched, so definitely be sure to browse their site at northridge4x4.com. And of course, I'll be leaving a link to these Rugged Ridge mirror relocation brackets in the description below. But thanks guys for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like below and subscribe if you've yet to do so. And I'll see you next time on JD Cars.